Matthew T. Rader. I graduated with an MA in Interaction Design from UNT, their Frisco campus, in December of 2019. My current job title is Product Designer at Skillful, which is a small startup in Plano, Texas. When I started, my plans after graduation was to just become a full-on UX/slash product designer. I wanted to move beyond just designing websites and coding and building websites. And I knew to, instead of just waiting years of incremental growth within a company, if I went and got a master's degree, that would help jumpstart that career pivot. And so when I enrolled at UNT, took the course and graduated, that pivot went real smoothly, thankfully, and I was able to have a strong portfolio, strong knowledge to move right into the career I wanted to be in, which is now product designer, and it's been a great experience so far. My advice for prospective and current students is when you're figuring out what your next steps are, figure out where you want to go in the long run, and it doesn't have to be real specific. In my mind, it was I want to do a really cool job where I get to design stuff, and it wasn't even I didn't know exactly what that looked like, because I knew that I started seeing jobs and opportunities at my jobs, even though not related to my exact role I was hired for, to get to design something and get to get feedback just in a project. And I started seizing every opportunity I could to be creative, to learn how to advance any projects we're working on, and also ended up taking jobs too that weren't always in line with what I wanted to be, but those jobs had aspects to them that I was able to learn from to continue to enhance my creativity, my expanding my thinking and understanding of business and products and how they impact people. And a lot of those were just small steps in the journey. I learned it was a zigzag, it was back and forth, up and down, it was fast, it was slow. And it was all that still ended up getting me to where I wanted to be right now, which I'm really grateful for. And just be gracious to yourself and be open to letting things twist and turn and not get discouraged by that, and just keep working incrementally towards your goal. My program at UNT, which I actually took at their Frisco campus, fully prepared me for this role. Prior to enrolling in my master's degree and starting it, I had a little bit more simplistic view of design. Like, I knew design, I knew it impacted people, I knew user experience was important. I knew the technology behind it because I was a developer. But what I really didn't understand is a lot of like the psychology aspect of it, the business side of things, the business justification for the designs, and enrolling that program in the research part of it too. That was another part. So enrolling to that program really exposed me to all of that. It helped me understand how all the technology, design, business, research, psychology, people, how intertwined, and no product can exist without any of those. And so studying and researching in the amazing classes I took with Mike, Keith, and Troy really prepared me for this role in a way I see a lot of other people who've never studied UX or got a master's degree in it don't really know, don't really seem to really understand the depth of that aspect of creating products. And it also, another thing that was extremely important, I would say probably the most important, was communication. It was in that degree, I learned how to communicate design to people, to receive criticism without it hurting my feelings or bothering me, to give criticism in a way that was respectful and helpful. And that is like every day of my job. Every day, people are criticizing my designs. I'm giving feedback, giving ideas. People are shooting down my ideas. People are embracing my ideas. I have to learn to shoot down even my boss's ideas. Sometimes they don't have good ideas. Learn how to do that in a way that they're willing to listen and trust me. And I learned so much of that in that degree, and it was just extremely powerful and amazing. And I really appreciate that. How I found my current role, this is actually really interesting. I actually have a specific methodology of how I look for jobs, and it's unique for most people I've heard tell me how they look for jobs. I cast a massive wide net. So when I am looking for a job, I'll apply to 50 to 100 jobs within a short amount of time. And because I know most companies use these resume scanners. And if you don't have the exact right verbiage, the right thing, they won't even look at your resume. So it's a numbers game. You are numbers to them, so I make them a number to me. And so I apply to all these companies. I mainly focus on very established job boards, primarily LinkedIn, Indeed, and ZipRecruiter. And after I stop, and then calls start coming in, emails start coming in, interviews start happening. In this last last job search I had, which is about 4 months ago, I ended up getting 3 offers for jobs on the same day. And I got to talk about the money, got more money, got to do more what I wanted to do. And it was just like a really cool method that really worked out well for me. And I've done that for several jobs in the past. One of the hardest questions I was asked in an interview was recently, actually, it was during this recent job search. And a CEO of a company asked me, what makes me qualified to design software for people who are not in the same demographic as me? And this was a company who made software for people that are about 15, 20 years younger than me, and mainly women, were their audience. And that question kind of took me back for a second, and I had to really think about it. Like that was a really good, challenging question. And what I came back to what I was taught at UNT, my master's degree, was really, I don't know, even my own demographic, I don't know that well, right? I can make assumptions, but assumptions can be wrong, and assumptions can be wrong about any demographic. And so what I learned at UNT and in my degree was like the research methodology is you get to know them, you research your demographic, you sit down with them, you listen to them, you listen to their needs, what is helpful for them, what do they understand, you prototype, bring it to them, let them test it, let them see them use it, and see if it makes sense to them, and keep tweaking the product until they like it and they can use it. And it goes for any demographic and any group of people. And so that when I gave him that answer, he was actually really impressed with it. I liked it a lot. And it was one of the companies that did giving me an offer, but yeah, I didn't go with, ended up taking that offer though. I saw an email from UNT or something about the Career Center, and they mentioned they do resume reviews. And I thought to myself, like, I should really take advantage of this while I'm here. And fortunately, they had it right there on the UNT Frisco campus, right by my classroom. So one day I went early. I emailed her, scheduled the time, and I went before class. And I met with Amy Hicks, who was extremely helpful. She was a great listener, went through all my resume, helped me to strengthen some of the verbiage, the organization of it. And I think she was very influential in making my resume more attractive and impactful to potential hiring managers. One of the things, my experiences I learned, and I would say my degree helped me with this and a lot of on-the-job experience, was being a product designer. I thought I had to be the guy with all the ideas, and that people were looking to me to solve all the problems. And yes, people do look to you to solve the problems, but I learned that everyone has great ideas to solve product problems or business problems or any kind of problem that we encounter every day. And so what I learned was, rather than making sure my ideas are heard, I started learning to make sure I hear everyone else's ideas. And also learned that sometimes people might not have the greatest idea, but I'll listen to it and then use that as a springboard for my ideas so they can feel heard. My idea, they're more open to listening to my idea because I listened to them and I connected it to their idea, and it made them feel like their idea inspired my idea. And something that actually did happen. I mean, it does happen where your idea inspires my idea, and that opens people up to trust you a lot. And so I started seeing myself more as a facilitator of good ideas rather than the sole generator of good ideas. And that goes for anyone in the company, from leadership to your boss to someone below you, someone that's your peer, a fellow coworker. It works the same, and everyone responds the same. And so I think it's a way to really become like a leader in the product design world or any job role that you have. That's how you lead, is people go to you for their ideas because they know you will listen, and then you will consider it and see how you can implement it. And you start seeing people to you more and more and more. And that's like a very organic way to build yourself into a leader. And I think that experience in my education, I've been learning how to do that well.